In the heart of South America, nestled between tropical jungles and the Caribbean Sea, lies a nation whose ambitions in the skies have been relentlessly tested: Venezuela. For decades, its air force sought modern capability, symbolized by Russian-built Sukhoi Su-30 Mk2 fighters. But today, that fleet's story is not just one of aerodynamics and avionics. It's a tale shaped by geopolitics, economic isolation, and the unforgiving nature of sanctions. The grip of sanctions. Since the late 2010s, the United States has imposed a comprehensive sanctions regime on Venezuela's government and defense sector. The result: strict export controls, denial of arms-related licenses, and financial blockades that essentially severed Caracas from major aerospace supply chains. Under U.S. law, defense articles and related technical services simply cannot be exported to Venezuelan military end users. That includes spare parts, maintenance support, and high-tech systems, even for third-party components embedded in foreign-made aircraft. U.S. export control rules like ITAR and Commerce Department restrictions make these licenses a categorical denial. U.S. Department of the Treasury. Meanwhile, Treasury sanctions target individuals and firms aiding Venezuela's military procurement networks, from Iranian UAV supply chains to shadow financing schemes, further choking the critical materiel. As a result, the once formidable Sukhoi Su-30 Mk2 fighters, designed for long-range air dominance and multi-role missions, have faced chronic parts shortages and diminishing maintenance capacity. Operational realities: decline in readiness. On paper, Venezuela's Air Force held upwards of 20 dozen Sukhoi Su-30 Mk2s, the backbone of its aerial might. But in practice, readiness has eroded. Without reliable access to original spare parts and manufacturer-level support, the fleet struggled to remain airworthy. Independent analyses suggest many Sukhoi Su-30s were grounded or in storage even before major geopolitical tremors in 2026. Army recognition. Routine maintenance became a challenge. Corrosion, aging avionics, and the absence of scheduled overhauls all took a toll. Aircraft that once stood ready for deterrence missions began to resemble museum pieces, capable of occasional exercises, yet ill-equipped for sustained operations. To bridge gaps, Venezuela turned to alternative partners. Russia, China, and Iran offered technical aid, spare parts, and in some cases new systems. But these workarounds carried their own limits: slower deliveries, compatibility issues, and the constant threat of U.S. interdiction. Cyber Cuba. The Caribbean Theater, a new chapter. By late 2005, rising tensions between Washington and Caracas made the skies over the Caribbean an unexpected arena of strategic signaling. In military exercises like Caribe Soberano 200, Venezuelan Air Force showcased its Su-30 fleet armed with long-range anti-ship missiles, a symbolic message of resolve in the face of growing U.S. naval deployments nearby. Euronews. But real-world operations in early 2026 exposed the limits of this aerial posture. In January 2026, U.S. forces conducted a high-profile operation against Venezuelan leadership in Caracas. According to multiple accounts, the Venezuelan air defense network, spanning radar sites and fighter units, was largely unable to mount significant resistance. Sukhoi 30s and other platforms were reportedly scarce in the skies as U.S. aircraft executed precision missions with little opposition. Cyber Cuba. Analysts attributed this to a combination of degraded maintenance, inoperable radar infrastructure, and a lack of trained, flight-ready crews, conditions directly linked to the operational impact of sanctions and years of economic strain. Cyber Cuba. Strategic implications and future frontiers. For nations like Venezuela, aviation is more than machines and pilots. It's a reflection of geopolitical isolation. Sanctions have not just clipped wings, they have eroded the industrial and logistical foundations that keep military aircraft flying. At the same time, shifting global alignments offer a lifeline, limited though it may be. Continued ties with Moscow, Beijing, and Tehran keep some aircraft alive, albeit in fragmented and resource-strained force structure. Yet, the events of 2026 underscore a stark reality. Without broad international support and uninterrupted access to modern logistics chains, even advanced fighters like the Su-30 Mk2 risk becoming relics of intent rather than instruments of power. In the age of sanctions and multi-domain warfare, control of the skies demands more than hardware. It demands unfettered access to the invisible architecture that keeps wings pointed skyward.